is Richie from Crazy Rides Inc. Hit the notifications, subscribe, and we're here at
Nowaskey Extreme Performance. I'm Pete Nowaskey, and we are the suspension experts in the Harley industry. So our product is made in the USA, and we set out to develop the absolute best suspension for a Harley-Davidson motorcycle. We studied everything out there and basically developed the best of the best. So these are our remote reservoir shocks. We have a larger reservoir than anybody out there. We also have an actual CNC billet piston in here rather than a diaphragm like some other companies do. Our lines have a double O-ring fitting, so they will never kink or bind no matter where you put them. We have 6 points of adjustment for the compression and 80 clicks of adjustment on the rebound, which is more than anybody in the industry. We offer multiple spring rates, so we can custom set up your suspension for any rider. And one cool thing is, nobody else in the industry offers this. With no tools, you can adjust the preload on your spring, but also you can change your springs. This allows you to change your springs for different weights of riders. We also have on here the tattletale O-ring to show you how much travel you're using on your shock. We have a large heim joint on the top and the bottom, so no spacers are needed and nothing will bind up. One of the most unique things about our suspension is each shock is individually hand assembled and dyno tested and tuned, and the shock is paired with its perfect partner. So you'll notice that our serial numbers are not necessarily sequential, although they could be, they're usually not. And that is because this shock is paired with its perfect partner based on the dyno results. So you have an absolutely perfectly matched set of shocks for your bike. Nobody else is offering this kind of quality. So we've developed the absolute best shock you can get for your Harley-Davidson.
eye to eye. What's the length of the shock, and what lengths can you get?
So we have 12, 13, and 14-inch shocks in remote reservoir and dual adjustable. We also offer a 16-inch race-only shock, and we just came out with our FXR shocks.
Is there a possibility that you have an 11 for short guys that ride like myself, because I had to go to another company to get a 10.5, 11 shock?
So we don't offer an 11, and the reason is that our 12-inch shock has 2.5 inches of travel. All of the 13 and above has 3 inches of travel. Now, we set about 1 inch of sag into our suspension with rider weight. So your 12-inch shock set up properly is still going to get you down close to that 11, right, but maintain enough travel to give you a really good ride.
That helps a lot of short people like myself.
Yeah.
So that's a good note. That's a good note to know.
Yeah. So, and honestly, the reason we don't deal in the shorter stuff is because we're about quality of ride, and we can't achieve that when we go too short.
Low, because the travel gets smaller and smaller.
Yeah. So,
but with the sag, you lose about 3/4, half to 3/4 an inch on your 11s or 12s?
On the 12. So
on the 12. So you're bringing it down to about 11.5.
Yeah, and we actually do about 1 inch of sag.
Oh, 1 inch. So you're bringing it down to 11.
Yeah.
All right.
So, yeah, and then we have some of our other products here are remote reservoir brackets for these. So these are for the newer bikes.
Hang off the back?
Yep.
All right.
And
that's
then
a popular thing for everyone.
And then this is a T-mount for 08 and earlier. And then we also just offer the clamps as a universal option to mount it wherever you want,
you
right?
Can mount them inside the bag somewhere, on a rail or something.
Not everybody wants to flaunt it.
Yeah, well, I mean, if you're paying that kind of money,
yeah,
I want it to be shown.
Yeah, right. And that's
matter of fact, I want you to engrave your name on it.
Yeah. So another unique thing about our product is, I want you to hold this in your hand. This shock is 3 pounds.
Oh my God. This looks like it weighs about 10 pounds. This weighs nothing. And if anybody's have grabbed a shock and put it in their hand, there's a big difference.
So we're the lightest shock in the industry as well.
Full of aluminum.
Yes, this remote reservoir is 4.2 pounds.
Oh my God, this
That's
feels
still
lighter
light.
than that one.
It's lighter than your factory suspension.
Which helps on the rear of the bike too. Takes the weight off the rear of the bike and makes the shock work without having to weigh itself.
Yep. The other thing about our product is it's lifetime warranty to the original purchaser. And people ask about rebuilding it. Our general rule of thumb is about 50,000 miles you can send them in and have them rebuilt. But that's if needed. If there's no problem, there's no problem. So we're definitely the most high-tech shock in the industry.
Definitely are, yes. And where are these shocks made?
So we are out of Wisconsin. So they're made in the USA.
You hear that? They're made in the USA. They're not shipped to Wisconsin from so-and-so. They're made here.
Yes.
I like that because, you know, we need more industry here, and there's a lot of good techs here that know what to do. A lot of bikers in the United States, so there's a lot of education in the United States.
Made in the USA for US motorcycles.
So this is, I'm gonna hold the card up, but I know he's gonna post
Nowaskey.
it. And here's the back, because it has a phone number. And did we get the price on these?
So the remote reservoirs are $17.50. Your standard shock or dual adjustable shock is $12.50. The cartridge inserts are also $12.50.
So let's go with these cartridge inserts. Are they dual, or are they preload one and the other one is just a floater?
So this is just a drop-in cartridge. Just set it and forget it. It's not an adjustable unit.
All right.
You can adjust preload on the spring, but the way we have it set is really where you should leave it. Now, some of the stunt riders and performance riders may want to adjust this as needed, but for the normal person, you're just going to want to leave this as is.
Okay, but now the question is, are they both together the same?
Matched.
Right.
They're a matched set.
So they're not a spring load on one side, and then you do the drop-in adjustment on the other,
Yep.
like some of these have, right?
Correct.
So
Yep.
it's like, you know, that's old stuff.
Yeah.
This here is, they both match, they both work independently, but they both work the same way.
Yep.
Set it and forget it.
Set it and forget it. Comes with our oil here. Basically, all this is a lubricant to lube your bushings and seals in the fork. So you don't need fork oil like a conventional fork, because this is doing the job for the suspension. This is merely a lubricant. This is all you need in there.
And what is that one?
This
Same
is
thing?
for the other side.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, yeah, well, that was obvious.
One for one side,
all right.
one for the other.
Okay, I'm
And
learning.
then there's a tool in here for installation.
Wow. Okay.
So
And
again, top
where are
notch.
these made?
Made in the USA.
All right. All right, so now you got it. There's a new product in town. There's a new gangster in town. And they've been around now for,
We've been in business almost 20 years.
okay, so you guys out there that are looking for suspension, check this guy out. And first name?
I'm Pete Nowaskey, Nowaskey Extreme Performance.
There you go. It's a bit of a challenge for me, so I asked him. Thank you, Pete.
Awesome.
All right, thank
This
you.
is Richie signing off. That was great.
Thank you very much.
Brother. Yeah.
Awesome.